most disturbing in the country. This headline was actually reported in both Standard, Nation newspaper, and the Star, even the People's Daily. On the same day, they said that the healthcare was in trouble because of the SHA, the SHIF, and the issue of people dying in healthcare hospitals just because of the fact they could not access treatment. On the same day, they said the education sector was in trouble. The strike for professors in universities was looming. There was a complaint in the primary, secondary education sector. So the education sector was in trouble. And on the same day, they said that the country is short of cash. And the cash shortage in the country was so tough that they said even banks were not giving cash. They also said the same day that the county government, there was a looming shutdown in the counties, if at all, the government does not release the money they wanted. They said counties had not been paid for 4 months. So then, as this looks like a very urgent problem, let me say, as I always said, that the problem is not about revenue. The problem in Kenya is about leadership. The government is doing something very bad. The government, let's say that the national government is an investor in Kenya, and county governments are needed to be stewards. So what I'm saying is that the government is a very poor investor, while the county governors are actually very poor stewards. Let me explain the following. Since the beginning of devolution, county governments in Kenya have consistently failed to meet their own revenue targets. We call it on-source revenue target, ORS. In the first half of 2023-2024, ORS only contributed 24.9% of the annual target. Imagine, instead of giving us the 75.1, they only gave us 24.97% of the annual target given to counties. That's the first year of devolution. In the financial year ended 2024, June 2024, only 10 of the 47 counties met their own revenue, own source revenue targets. Can you believe it? Only 10 out of 47. The gap between the revenue generation and expenditure at the county level can lead to challenges in meeting employee payment obligations and service delivery. That's why the governors were threatening that if they're not given money, they will be able to shut down. They are failing by 47% after 11 years of operation. Imagine if a county has been receiving around 15 billion shillings for the last 11 years, they cannot invest that money to generate revenue that can be able to drive the economy in the county level. Take county governments as a startup run by a national government. The average break-even period for any startup is between 3 to 5 years on average. How comes counties are still not able to meet their revenue target 11 years down the line? How is running them? How are they being run? County governments in Kenya have the potential to generate significantly more revenue than they currently do, but they face challenges in achieving their targets. According to the Commission on Revenue Allocation, CRA, and the World Bank Group's 2022 report, county governments could not collect county government could only collect up to 216 billion in revenue from their key revenue streams, but they could only collect 30.85 billion, meaning the potential is 216, but they are only collecting 216 billion. So why is this potential not working? Again, take county governments as startups. For the national government, how comes having received 3.6 billion, actually 3.6 trillion since devolution began, which is the year 2013, 2014, they can only generate 30.85 billion shillings a year. Imagine you invest in the county government. You inject 2.6 trillion into the county governments, but they are only able to cough out 30.85 billion out of a potential of 216 billion. In the fiscal year ending June 2024, the county government of Nairobi collected only 12.8 billion in the local revenue, which was less than the target of 20.06 billion. In the first half of the financial year 2023-2024, only 5 counties collected more than 50% of their local revenue target. So what are the challenges that these counties are facing, that they are receiving so much money they can't get? Can you imagine if Safaricom was receiving 3.6 trillion shillings, but they cannot generate any revenue near even 100 billion? Do you think the owners will allow it to operate? What about KCB? How are we not running county governments as startups so that resources can be devolved? The challenges are, one, very simple things: poor strategic planning. Yet they put a lot of money paying consultants on strategic planning that don't deliver results. Weak monitoring and evaluation. Yes, these are intentional so that revenue can leak. 2, weak performance management, meaning that all the people working in the county government do not have KPIs. They deliver them or not, there are no consequences for non-performance. And when they don't perform, they only give excuses and they always blame the government for not releasing the money. The 4th one is poor administrative capacity to assess the revenue base. So some governors have employed cronies who are the most incompetent people to run those county government departments, to the point that the revenues cannot be generated because you just employ your campaign team management. You look at people who campaign for you, you employ them. 5th, poor administrative capacity to enforce taxes. Again, I've talked about incompetence in the county government. Number 7, tax evasion and resistance from taxpayers because of the fact they don't believe their taxes makes any sense. And lastly, as the 7th point is corruption, including embezzlement of revenues. I've told you very well, gentlemen and gentlemen, that the problem in Kenya is incompetence and corruption. If we can do away with incompetence and corruption, which is from the national government to the county government, we'll do well. The electorate should ensure they elect leaders, not politicians, to run their counties if they want corruption and incompetence to end. These governors are those who have been caught disposing county funds in UK and the US, among other counties. If you take the case of Governor Wavinya Ndeti, is anything to go by because he was found trying to deposit hundreds of millions of shillings in UK. And I saw some people demonstrating in her county saying they want their governor back and they support her. That's how hypocritical we are. That's why it is my belief that Kenya is divided into 2. 1, ni wale wanaotuibia na sisi wenye tunaoibiwa. Wale wanatoibia ni wachache sana. 82% of all county funds across all the 47 countries by and large are eaten by only 42 county executives, leaving the county assembly with 12%. Then 6% is tokenism development. That is why counties cannot be self-sustaining. Governors give these 6% as handouts or in some misplaced projects. Let's come together, CC, to now Ibiwa, and we elect one of us and send them home thieves, wale ambao wanatuibia. That will be the solution. As of now, governance remain as the biggest impediment to development, because if you look at the amount of money they have received. For example, Governor Asanga in Siaya received 10 billion shillings for 10 years. That's 100 billion. If you go to Siaya, do you see where 100 billion has gone in Siaya? Governor Anyang' Nyong'o has received 15 billion for the last 7 years. Can you see this money anywhere in Kisumu where it has gone? Nairobi here, they used to receive around 20 billion shillings, but they left her with high pending bills. Nothing much. Nairobi is not working. Sewers everywhere, open sewer. Everywhere roads are not working. Floods are everywhere. Anything is not working. So Kenyans, let's wake up and take your governors and MCAs as the people standing between you and development. And if you still think that the problem is only one person and leave the other people go scot-free, and we keep some people calling them our person, Mutuwetu syndrome, we are heading nowhere. And mark my words, we shall still die saying, bado mapambano. Thank you.